Welcome to the Bonnie Forward Show. I'm your host, Bonnie Forward, and it is my thrill to be doing a show about a brand new horror film just in time for Halloween. And for the first time, I have two guests today. I'm learning. I bring you the writer, director, and producer, BonVida, and his lead actor, Leslie A. Jones, who are both here to talk about their new film entitled The Night Boyz. That's with a Z. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Let me let them in. Hang on, Bonnie. Okay. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Hello, hello.
Hello, BonVida. Hello,
Hey.
Leslie Jones. Welcome to the show. So great to have you.
Thank you, Bonnie. Hope all is well.
Oh, everything is great. Thank you for asking. Hey, Leslie. How are you?
Hey.
Hey,
Fine. How about yourself?
welcome. So the way I wanted to start was to ask BonVida so my audience can familiarize themselves with you. Tell us about yourself and how you got into writing, directing, and producing this particular film, and how you found Leslie to be your lead.
All right. The name's BonVida. Grew up in Boston, Massachusetts. Ever since a kid, I've been a fan of horror and gore and all these things. And ever since a kid, it never really scared me. I always saw past the film and just looked at it from a different angle, like, oh, that's fake, or they did this and they did that. So I always knew I was going to be a filmmaker. I was a producer for 12 years. Then COVID really, knocked me out of the business, and I switched gears and decided, you know what, I came to LA to be a writer director, and I got tired of building people's dreams. So now it's time for me to hire people to build my dreams and finally, move forward with all these creative ideas that were just burning holes in my head. So during COVID, put together this project, The Night Boyz, and the one of the producers that I hired kept pushing me towards auditioning this gentleman by the name of Leslie A. Jones. And I'm just like, all right, I got you. I know it's your friend. You're trying to get your friend in the movie. I get it, blah, blah, blah. This is Hollywood. And then this man just auditioned and just blew my socks off. He blew everyone out the water. It was just like, okay, that is my guy. That is him. Thank you, Derek, for doing this. But I'll let him talk about why he fell in love with the project. But man, it was a no-brainer talent-wise, and just it was actually beyond talent. It was just, that energy. When you know, you know. And that's how we ended up working together on this project from my perspective.
Well, Leslie, it's your turn to tell us all about yourself and how you decided to take on this particular project. I know BonVida is quoted as saying that his favorite part of the production was when, and this really got me, this got me, I gotta say. He said, and I quote, "When we were shooting the head vampire's speech to all of his subjects in a warehouse in downtown LA, it brought me to tears. It finally hit me after a year of overcoming impossible odds. My dream is now a reality. And seeing the characters say my written words in a powerful speech gave me chills." That's quite a testament to your acting chops, Leslie. What do you have to say about BonVida's statement?
I have to say thank you. Wow. That blows me away.
And on a side note, Bonnie, we do have footage of that, by the way. We have behind the scenes of actually shooting that scene. It's on YouTube. So if you want to check that out, I can share that with you as well.
Oh, yeah, please. That'd be fantastic.
Sorry to cut you off, Leslie.
Go, Leslie.
No. I'm good. For some reason, it seems like I'm on a little delay here or something.
Yeah, it does seem like that.
Happening on your side?
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on.
I don't know.
I hear you
wasn't
fine,
like
though.
that earlier. But
we hear you fine.
You hear me fine, though. It's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway,
you just look like one of those Chinese movies.
No, well, anyway,
yeah. That's right.
I have to say, first of all, I am Leslie A. Jones. I am from Philadelphia. Um, I am 64 years old. I'm telling my age and dating myself now, but I used to watch Shirley Temple films.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
I knew from that time on that I wanted to go to Hollywood and I would dream of Hollywood and being in Hollywood and doing things like Shirley Temple did, you know. And so let's fast forward. I get here from the military and I'm staying with one of my friends, and I have a bus driving job.
Mhm.
This woman out of nowhere gets on my bus and she says to me, she pays her fare and she starts to walk off and she comes back and she says to me, "You shouldn't be driving this bus. You're going to be an actor and a great actor."
Wow.
And then she walks away. I never
Wow.
saw that lady again, but I have to say that maybe 6 months to a year later, um, I started working as an actor. I got cast in the original Beverly Hills 90210 as a recurring character. I went on to do a lot of different sitcoms and whatnot, you know, and but needless to say, even through all that, all the successes I've had, I still had people that said I could not do what I'm doing as an actor. And
What do you
and
mean?
I got to tell you,
What do you mean?
they wouldn't that I wasn't good enough. And even though I had been on national television, this, that, and the third, I worked as a stunt double and stand-in for the famous Wesley Snipes. Um, you know, and that's where I basically learned my movie making skills from, as far as being in front of the camera. I watched him like a hawk. And it was actually Tony Scott, the late great director Tony Scott, that actually told me that I was a great actor. And it was also Robert De Niro that told me I was a great actor, and he wanted to see my films when they were made, when I started making films. And to me, that was like all the accolades that I ever needed in the world, you know, as
Mm-hmm.
to attest to what I was actually doing to be credible as a lead actor. And but still, you know, sometimes those confident things get you, you know, and they got me because I wasn't getting the work that I wanted to get, and thus I started doing independent films a lot, just to work at my craft and get my chops up and things of that nature, and also doing theater and band shows and things of that nature. And yeah, and this film came along, and I met BonVida in one of the films I was actually doing. I was playing a SWAT team leader, and I actually shot him in the film, you know. So, and
Something you felt,
it was
was that something you felt like doing all the way through the shooting of this film?
so yeah, you know. So and then he told you about the story about the producer that was working for him and trying to get me in. And I read for the film, and BonVida actually cast me, but I wanted to do this film because I read some of the film and I was blown away by the writing, because in this film, be it it's a vampire film, but he was dropping nuggets of history and knowledge of, you know, what people went through back in the time of this history, slavery, Black Wall Street,
Wow.
civil rights, you know,
Wow.
and
I did not
that's
know.
yeah, well, that's what made me I want to do the movie. I said, oh no, I really want to do this, and I'm going to give my 110% on the audition. And you know, hopefully he'll chose me. Now I'm an auditioner like this. I audition, I put 110% into it, and I let it go. And
As an
I
acting
think
coach, I've
maybe
been an acting coach for almost 40 years. I'm giving my age away now. Um,
okay, okay,
but I grew up in this industry in Los Angeles. So,
okay, okay.
and so I had a famous father, and I grew up in a famous, neighborhood full of nothing but famous people. So it's, For me, it was my normal. And
Mhm,
I say
mhm.
that in every one of my shows practically. But as an acting coach, I can tell you that's exactly what we want. That's exactly what I
Exactly.
need.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Mhm,
do it, give it
mhm.
100%. Soap opera acting, obviously, you can see behind me that I wrote a book about soap opera acting and talk about acting in the moment. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's it. You never do the scene again. You throw the script away and you move on and on to the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
day.
exactly.
I mean,
Exactly. And that's exactly what I did with this. And I hadn't heard from him or anybody saying that had been cast until like a few weeks down the road. And I was really elated, you know. But I have to say this, that even though I did this work, you know, sometimes actors suffer with did I do it right? Did I do it good enough?
yeah,
Or whatever,
you can't,
whatever, you
you
know.
can't do that.
And yeah, no, you have to throw that away as well, you know. But I still work. You know, I work like a part-time job now. However, this person, this woman, and I'm going to call her first name. I'm not going to use her last, but she came up to me, Sue. She says, "Hey, man," she says, "I didn't know you were a movie star." And I said, "Oh man, what are you talking about? I'm not a movie star." She said, "No, no, no, no. I saw your work. You are a movie star. You know, can
Okay,
I have your autograph?" You
I
know,
love it.
and I said to her, I said to Sue, I said, you know, hey, this, you know what, my autograph is not going to be worth anything. She said, I'm not going to sell it. I want your autograph. You're a famous guy. You are really a movie star, you know. So yes, I just blew her off. And later on that night, she saw me. She said, "Hey, could I talk to you for a minute?" I said, "Sure. What's going on?" She said, "You really hurt my feelings." And I'm like, "What? How? What did I do? You know, because I don't want to
Yeah.
hurt anybody's feelings." She said, "I asked you for an autograph and you blew me off. You wouldn't give it to me." And I said, "Sue, I didn't think you were really, you know, I didn't think you were serious, but you know, because everybody's, you know, hey, listen, man, I want your autograph before you leave, you know, that kind of stuff, right? You know."
Mm.
And she said, "No, really, really, I really want your autograph." And I said, "You know what? I am so sorry I hurt you, but I'll do you one better." She just wanted me to sign her Home Depot apron. So I said, "I'll do you one better. I'll bring you any photo you want. I'll bring you a source of photos and you pick one you want and I'll autograph it. I'll give you anything you want me to say on it, I'll put on it, right? You know." And you know, so I did that and she was really grateful, right? But then I started thinking, you know what? I may need her autograph because the fact is, it's like some people can see things in you that you don't see in yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
she actually brought an awareness to myself as to being a star, you know.
Yep.
And I told her that. I told her that. I told her, "Thank you very much," you know. And to this day, this happened about maybe 4 weeks ago.
Mhm.
He bought me this, and I'm going to show it on camera. She bought me this, and I wear this now every day
Oh,
to remind
wow.
me to remind me of her and who I am and what I am. So yeah, so I, you know, my thanks go out to Sue because now I carry myself like a star, you know,
Well, and
and
that's
it's
the whole thing. You know, that's the whole thing. Your fans are who make you who you are.
exactly,
You know, I mean,
exactly.
without your fans, you're nobody. If people don't
Nobody.
go to see your movies, if people don't watch your soap opera, if people don't, you know, no actor on this planet, as far as I'm concerned, has the right to refuse an autograph to anybody.
Right, exactly.
Unless your wife or your husband or whatever is in the middle of giving labor in a restaurant. You know, people come up to you and ask you because they feel they know you, and that's okay because they do, and you
They
wouldn't
do.
be
In a sense,
you
they do. Yes,
if they
yes.
didn't pay to go see your movies or
Exactly.
pay to watch your soaps or whatever, or, you know, pay their Netflix subscriptions to watch your streaming service, whatever. They
Mm-hmm.
make you. And you have to,
Right,
people, I get
right.
so angry at some of my celebrity friends, and I'm like, how dare you? How dare you? She came up
Well,
to you so nicely. He came up to you so nicely. They weren't going like, get out of the way, get out of the way. I want you.
right,
You know, it's like
right.
that's different. Okay, that's different, you
I
know. But
I
um,
I've been around that. See, because I did work with Wesley for what, 3 films, so that's about 3 years at that time of my life
Right.
went into shadowing him pretty much, and I've seen that happen before, and I'm not going to name names, but I've seen that happen on a few occasions, and I always thought it was so friggin' rude. But in my case, it was something different. I thought she was playing around, you know what I mean?
Right,
And,
right, right,
and just being, and because otherwise, had I known, but as I said, people tend to see sometimes things about you or things inside you that you don't see yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
her that was a blessing to me, and it came at the right time, just as this film did. It came at the right time for me because I needed this film as much as this film needed me, so
which
so
is
yeah. And I,
outstanding.
you know
So let's
yeah.
talk about, I mean, both of you, let's talk about the story of the film. I know you said that it's your version of Twilight, BonVida. That's what you said.
Yeah, Twilight, but in the hood.
Right, right. So let's talk about what point in time this horror film takes place, what kind of commentary this is on the current state of urban culture, and how this film is relevant. Are you planning on moving forward with a trilogy like Twilight did? And what will that look like? All that kind of stuff. Talk amongst yourself. Let's go.
Absolutely. So I would say The Night Boys is the story of two teenage half vampires, and they're on a mission to retrieve the only weapon that can kill the head vampire. All the while he's in Los Angeles, uniting all the Bloods and Crips into one big blood-sucking army, right?
And who is that head
Um,
vampire? Are we seeing this head vampire? There
is
it
Mr.
I
is.
am
Leslie Jones.
I am the
There
head
it is.
vampire.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And so throughout this journey, we also have, several flashbacks of the head vampire's backstory. So we kind of see his transition from good to evil as well. So he's not just a, black and white character of just an evil cardboard cutout, right? We get to see his pain and all these things that he went throughout history, culturally, we would
How
say,
old?
right?
How old is he supposed to be? How many
He would
hundred?
be older than 400 years. He
Oh,
was
okay.
made in the slave era, and and then we just check in with him from different points in time, and we see all the horrible things that happened to him because of the racial tensions and racial situations in America, right? And tie that in with him being in modern day, seeing how our strength in numbers is not really being utilized. He does that, but for evil purpose, right? But we try to paint it in a way where it's showing that you can use the power in numbers for good or evil, but in this instance evil, but we package it in a cool way with this urban crime drama type of vibe, so it kind of makes it sexy in a way to attract the younger kids to watch this story, but at the same time we're teaching them at the same time, right? And also sprinkle in the vampire lore with all of that. We also are introducing new things to the vampire lore and contributing to the vampire lore as well. All these new rules that we like to incorporate and all these cool ideas, and just to see how the urban culture would embrace the vampire lore is really interesting. How gangsters and things like that would how they would turn out if they got bit by a vampire, right? So we're bringing a really unique take on it, and I'm very excited to share it with the world as well.
Well, I'm sorry it's not for sale yet, but
Yeah, we're working on that. We're working on that.
are you mentioned something about doing a trilogy? If
Absolutely.
so Leslie's character is not killed off in this, obviously, because you can't kill a vampire unless you put a stake through their heart. Isn't it a stake?
So the rules in this world is that one of the rules is that the vampires can only be killed with wood that is older than them. So Leslie being more than 400 years old, so they have to go and find wood that is older than him. So they actually have to go to the Sequoia National Park, to those trees.
Uh-huh.
And in this world, anything's possible. People die, people get brought back to life. In and let's just leave it at that, right? The rules
Okay.
are made to be broken
They're
sometimes, but
flexible.
yeah,
Flexible
and
rules.
yes, exactly. So, definitely with the trilogy, we are definitely moving forward with the trilogy, and this is just the beginning. This is the movie that sets the groundwork for all the rules and establishes the world. And now for the next two films, we get to play with all these rules in so many different ways, right?
I love this. I love this. I just love
Right.
love this. And it's all set in LA, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Except for the flashbacks of
Except for the flashbacks, and also when our characters go on their mission to the Sequoia. We called it
Right.
Vida Mountain, but it's the Sequoia National Park that they go to. And that was a very fun experience.
It's a little bit like Highlander in that way. Highlander was that way. Remember the show about the Scotsman that goes back in time, and he's hundreds and hundreds of years old, and it shows all of the ways in which he like goes and springs into the next lifetime and then springs into the next, and he's like, and that song "Who Wants to Live Forever" came from that.
Yeah,
Right,
Die Hard Highlander 1 fan. So Christopher Lambert, oh man, that movie's amazing. Sean Connery, that was a great one.
Yep, and then the series was incredible. Adrian Paul,
Yes.
Highlander, which had that Queen song, "Who Wants to Live Forever," and it was so great, because he ultimately got depressed because he was like, all of the loves of my life are outliving me. I have to say goodbye over and over and over and over throughout my lifetimes, so I like the fact that there was, and I don't know if you have this in the film or not, but maybe in the trilogies, where Leslie's character is having to say goodbye to these women that he's loved, or men or whatever that he's loved throughout history, of the history of his hundreds of years of living, that he has had to say goodbye because they pass away and he doesn't.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And it's much more tragic than that. Worse things happen to Leslie in this film, his character as well. Like very extreme things happen to him.
Yes.
Yeah. So we paint a hard picture of why this character decides to turn evil.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. And do we have a little Leslie, or is Leslie always an adult?
He's always an adult.
Okay, gotcha. That works. I mean, well, that's Adrian Paul didn't really have. I mean, I was just wondering if, like in a backstory, you had him as the little guy.
No, not in this one.
Okay, good.
Not yet.
I like
that's a possibility, though.
There you go. I'm giving
that is a possibility. That is a possibility.
Bonnie Forward wants credit. Okay. So let's see, what else did I want to talk to you guys about, because we're starting to run out of time. When is this? Well, first of all, let me just say that all of you who are out there that are interested in knowing more about this film and about maybe hosting a screening of this film or advancing this film on any of your many streaming platforms, all press and sales contact information is as follows. It's all one word: The Night Boyz, BOYZ movie @gmail.com.
Yes, ma'am.
And you are the same thing on Facebook, Instagram, all of those, all the social media platforms. You're all the same. So anybody wants to look, and on YouTube, anybody wants to look at all that stuff, feel free to go ahead.
And the website as well.
And the website as well.
Yes.
So it's www.thenightboysmovie.com, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
That's correct.
All right. So what else did I want to ask you? Okay. So the running time of the film is how long?
It is 1 hour and 53 minutes.
Oh, that's very doable. I love that. It's very doable. And Leslie's in 99.9% of it?
It is an ensemble cast, and every single character has an equal amount of screen time.
Exactly.
It's very balanced, and everyone that's in there, they all orbit around Leslie's character.
Oh, that's
So
perfect.
everyone orbits all around his character in this film. And
Oh, that's perfect.
and then it's just amazing because in the the final 15 minutes, all their worlds just come crashing together, and it's just one big crescendo of an ending and an epic showdown, and it's just amazing. And the one thing we take pride in is we make sure we take our time developing our characters and spending time with all of our characters. So then when the final, when these arcs happen to these characters, we actually care about these characters and things of that nature. So
well, that's brilliant, BonVida. My hat's off to you. I'm just saying, because it's complicated to, it's like a soap opera in that sense.
Oh yeah,
you're doing 3 of them. It really is like a soap opera in that sense, because you're having to remember the backstories of all these characters have to, because there's going to be somebody out there, Leslie knows, there's going to be somebody out there that says, hey, that didn't happen the first one. How come that? What is this? There's always
well, that's the director's job. That's the director's job at any point.
And the writer, of which you are also.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And it kind of reminds me, of the movie Crash, in a sense that, you see these people on their different journeys, and then somehow, some way, they all end up, at the end of the movie, their worlds end up, crashing and combining or whatever,
A good way to put it. A good way to put it.
Literally colliding.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Crash.
Yeah.
Well,
they're all the planets, and Leslie is the sun, and they all just gravitate towards.
Yeah, I'm the nucleus. Right.
They all revolve around Leslie.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. Well, we are running out of time, so let me just say thank you, gentlemen, both of you, so very much for being on what I call my pre-Halloween show.
All right.
A thrill to have you guys on. You're the greatest. You're interesting, you're delightful, and you're amazingly talented guys. And
I appreciate it.
It was my absolute pleasure to have you on to promote this terrific modern horror film. I think it is so relevant, and it can't be banned. So it's not one of those books that gets banned. So,
they can't cancel all of us.
That's right. Exactly. Then I'd be out of a job too. So there you go. But I just love it. And I think it's just, it's so relevant, and it's so educational, and there's just so many aspects of it. And I just
very much so.
I just thank you. Yes. And I thank you both for you, BonVida, for creating it, you, Leslie, for starring in it. I just think, it's just fabulous. I just love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
When do we have a release date?
We don't have one yet. We are doing our tour right now of the country. We're doing our 4-wall screenings. We just did LA, which was amazing, successful. It was, well received. We're having our Boston, Massachusetts screening on October 28th, this Saturday. And then after that, we're planning to do Philadelphia, Atlanta, hopefully Miami, Chicago, and wherever else. And all the while,
San Francisco,
possibly, definitely. We're open to every city. And as far as distribution, we are courting many offers. And also, we're taking our time with it, and we're definitely going to find the right home for this project. And it will be coming soon to a streaming platform very soon, and we're really excited for when that does happen, and we will definitely let you know when that does.
Oh, please do, because then we can do another interview when that happens.
Oh, absolutely. And then we can we can share some footage with the audience and things of that nature as well.
Well, I look forward to everything you're going to send me, BonVida. I really, really am. And Leslie, safe travels, because I guess you're going to be flying back, aren't you?
Yes, I'm going to Boston. Yep.
Yeah,
that is for sure. Yes, indeed.
I got to Boston, and I am jet lagged, and I am just
jet lagged. Oh, you're just a wuss. Jet lagged. I try going to university in Boston. And flying back and forth.
Hard work, man. The whole flight, I'm working, emails, phone calls. emails and all these things, and then you land, and I got more work to do, and you get settled in, and you know the deal. It's
I do.
nonstop working, nonstop working,
Nonstop.
nonstop working.
Yep.
That's why you have to
Yep.
become the time where you are.
Yeah, well, when you do what you love, I don't consider it work. So
Exactly.
we're blessed and we're lucky.
Yes.
That part. Yes, indeed, for sure.
And I am blessed and lucky to have had you on this show. I love you guys both so much. You're wonderful.
right.
You're
Thank
so,
you.
Love you too.
so wonderful. Oh, thank you. Okay.
And it was great meeting you at HorrorCon too. I enjoyed your presence and your company at HorrorCon. So thank you very much for that.
That was so fun. Oh, you guys,
it
was great meeting you too, Leslie. It was that was a fun event. It was.
It was.
I mean, I didn't do both days. You did both days. So
yes.
So kudos to you, because I know just being there for the length of time I was there was a lot. But I was so happy because that way I got connected to a little
boy.
Okay. All right, you guys. Love you both very much.
All right.
Always love and light and peace out.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.